Saudi Arabia kicks off Ukraine talks that exclude Russia.
Here's a summary of the article.
Saudi Arabia has kicked off a weekend summit in Jeddah, in which senior officials from some 40 countries, but not Russia, will aim to draft key principles on how to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. List 1 of 3 Russia targets Odessa port, angering Ukraine and nearby Romania. List 3 of 3 Ukraine keeps up Russia pressure as drone raids intensify psychological war. Saudi Arabia said the weekend talks underscored Riyadh's readiness to exert its good offices to contribute to reaching a solution that will result in permanent peace, the official Saudi press agency said. Saudi Arabia, the world's biggest crude exporter which works closely with Russia on oil policy, has touted its ties to both Moscow and Kyiv and positioned itself as a possible mediator in the war. The energy crisis produced by the Ukraine war elevated Saudi Arabia's global importance, helping to facilitate his rehabilitation. Saudi Arabia has backed UN Security Council resolutions denouncing Russia's invasion as well as its unilateral annexation of territory in eastern Ukraine.
This post received a score of 7,500, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Somebody wants to get the grain economy back online.
The stability of nations depends on consistent food supply. Even the dictators and fascists of the world know this. Nothing induces action more than hunger. Russia has finally gone too far. You don't fuck with the global food supply like this.
Ironically, Stalin didn't.
I guess I should add that any dictator looking to remain in the power knows not to fuck with food supply. You can kill many, but eventually the hunger induces regime change.
Doesn't seem to apply in North Korea for whatever reason, though I suppose that explains why they're Russia's final and only true ally.
They feed the people with guns, and do not give guns to the ones starving.
Given the chronic lying espoused by Russia at the UN, I'd say Russia excludes themselves from any purposeful discussion.
Geopolitics is way too nuanced for the average Redditor to handle. Just a few weeks ago, we had this as a top thread on our World News. Saudi Arabia says, new oil cuts show teamwork with Russia is strong. A few weeks ago, Saudi Arabia was an enemy. Now, Saudi Arabia is suddenly an ally.
It's almost as if countries typically act in their own self-interest and can be an ally or enemy based on the topic being discussed. But I agree with Reddit being incapable of understanding nuance. It seems to me to largely be an age thing. Younger people tend to prefer to see the world in black and white rather than shades of grey.
Greater than people tend to prefer to see the world in black and white rather than shades of grey. Fixed that for ya.
Facebook boomers are famously nuanced and well-informed in all of their scientific and political opinions. UV lights. In their anuses.
You know, at least one person gave themselves a nasty rectum sunburn. And it probably damn near killed them. Yup. Next commenter, I took that one from you.
Putin has embarrassed himself on the world stage to the point of no return. It's beautiful. He could have lived out the rest of his life not fucking up with this war, but he chose to do it and karma is coming back for him.
Zelensky, being a fan of Ukrainian sovereignty, winning his election dealt a blow to Russia's influence over Ukrainian leadership and policy. If he didn't flat out side with Russia throughout this entire war, he would have heavily disrupted sending military aid packages to Ukraine. To say nothing of how he likely would have disrupted all NATO activity. If they had, then Russia probably would have seized the rest of Ukraine largely unopposed. We would have never seen direct confirmation of the sad state of the Russian military, and the rest of the world would have stood on the sidelines and shrugged.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.